My name is Vina Sky. I'm 19 and I am originally from Houston, Texas. The first time I did anything kind of related to like adult filming or anything like that was webcamming. And then I just started doing porn because I figured why not like go kind of like the full extent. Um, and then so yeah, I've been doing it for only 2 months now. I think what I like most about porn is that I can make other people come. Like sort of you're a performer and you're an entertainer. I like that. And then like learning different things on set and learning off other people or your own experiences and then making it better and better and better and better for your fans. So I think that's my favorite thing. I never really watched it. I the only time I'd really hear about porn and like it being around me is if like my guy friends would or the guys I dated or whatever would sometimes watch porn or like talk about it or whatever. So no, I wasn't really familiar with it at all up until like a week or two before I actually started porn. And then I watched like a couple videos with my boyfriend at the time that just showed me, and yeah, so I wasn't really that familiar with it. Never thought I'd do it either. I worked at a lot of different jobs, whether it was with food or working in an office. I was going to school at one point. So, all different things, just, jumping into different things and finding out if I liked it or not. And I didn't. And so I did webcamming and then I worked at like a sex shop, and like that's slowly what got me into like that side of the genre of porn and sex and everything. And then I figured like I can't webcam forever and stuff, and I can't, I was figuring out what I wanted to do with my career, and I knew I didn't want to go to school. So I figured I was literally like I was stoned and I googled how to become a porn star, and my agent popped up, and I contacted him thinking like, oh, it's probably going to be a scam, like all sorts of things, because coming from Texas, like you don't really have like the porn industry or anything like that. And so I thought it was like a scam or something. And then my agent contacted me and I was still sketched out. But I was like, if I never go, then I'll never know if it's real or not. So then I went and then shot my first scene, and I was like, oh, okay, it's legit. And I really liked it. So I just been doing it since. Sometimes when you don't want to fuck at an angle on camera. And yeah, that's about it. I haven't had any bad experiences yet, at least, to say that there's something big I don't like about it. I honestly wasn't that uncomfortable with it. When I shot my first scene, I just kind of went with the role and did what, I was supposed to. It wasn't really that different for me because before webcamming, which I didn't go through an agency or anything like that because I didn't know they existed, but I did a little bit of escorting. And through there, I learned a lot of different things, and I was also filmed sometimes with people I escorted for, so it wasn't anything new to me. And then being on webcam also, it was just how it was presented. It wasn't so much like I was shy for the camera. And yeah, and then when I learned more about porn, I realized that there were categories, and then I learned what my category was. And so I wasn't like, oh, well, I'm getting filmed and I don't have big boobs or big butt, or, like I learned my category and I stuck with it, and I was confident enough to not feel like, oh, well, what if this angle is, And so I just had fun, and yeah. I definitely didn't join porn thinking like, I want to be the biggest porn star. Like, I didn't know much about it, nothing. I literally did it because I didn't know what I was going to do with my career, and I figured this was like the smartest thing I could do, knowing there's not a lot of like Asians, and like I thought statistically and logically, and then I did it and I forgot about all that. My first scene, I was like, just have fun, which was what everybody was telling me. And I remember at that time I was just the new girl, and I was like, just have fun. Like, that's easy for you to say, you know? But I did it. I went to my first set. I did exactly what they said, and I had a blast. And no longer is it like, well, I'm doing it because I didn't know what to do with my future, or I just did it because I got tired webcamming, or I just did it because the money. It became like, oh crap, like I love what I'm doing. Like I like going to set on time. I like meeting new people. I like seeing different places. I've gotten to do a lot of different things I haven't since I've started. So it definitely changed perspectives very fast, and I am glad that it did, because I feel like porn is definitely not something to stick around and do if you don't enjoy it. I do, because it took a lot of decision making, and I have like a very deep story behind why I even started. So for it to change over to something I really love doing now, it means a lot more to me when I'm doing it than just like, oh, I'm just fucking on camera. It's more like what I thought wasn't gonna happen happened when it came to like enjoying it and not having to work another job that I hate, so I skipped out on. And so yeah, it's not just like you're getting paid to fuck. It's like every scene I shoot, I hope it's better and better and better and better. And like I just love every aspect of it. So it's good to know that it went from like a life decision making because of financial reasons and not knowing what to do with myself to like, this is now what I love doing. So I'm really small, as you can tell. And when I started shooting 8 weeks ago, I've been shooting 8 weeks in a row. And everybody's like, how are you not fucked up? And I'm like, I had a great sex life before porn. And I think that really trained me for porn, fortunately. I really do think that, if anything, my sex off camera is sometimes better. Because, of course, you're not, like, fucking at an angle. You're not, like, you're not so much, like, acting and trying to, like, think of 20 different things while you're fucking. You're just fucking. So sometimes it's more intense. Yes, I didn't have an amazing social life in high school growing up. So a lot of people are starting to come around more when they find out that I'm doing porn, whether it's they want to fuck or they want to see me naked or they just think something I'm doing is cool or the money or whatever it is. A lot of people are definitely like flowing back into my life slowly. And of course I keep my crowd small so I don't focus on people that do stuff like that to people. Go from like you're nobody to like, oh hey, I want to get to know you. I focus more on like my fans all the time. Like I think that's really what I put my energy most to if I'm not on set, is my fans. And then like obviously certain people that you have chemistry with, whether it's girl or boy in the industry, it's like amazing. But yeah, and then my parents actually don't know what I'm doing yet. I want to tell them, but it's kind of hard because they are so traditional that I don't even know how I could tell them without like laughing. Not out of disrespect, but out of just like awkwardness. So it's something that I will eventually tell them, if, because that's just not something I want to hide. It's growing up in a family where you had to hide so many different things, like failing tests to like, that's my boyfriend in first grade, to like, different little things. This is the last thing that I want to lie to them about. I do help them out with, porn and like the revenue and stuff like that out of it. I think the first time, well, I used to play with myself when I was a kid. I didn't know what the clit was or anything like that, but I did, and I just knew it felt good. And I never really watched porn, but like sometimes I'd run across it on like my little tablet or whatever growing up. And there were a few times that I caught my dad watching porn, and just other guys in general, like just boys, like at school or your boyfriend or whatever. So yeah, just catching other people watching it. And then when I actually sat down and watched it was when I was getting curious about porn. And my boyfriend at the time he watched porn, so he knew a little more about it. He knew certain actresses and performers and stuff, and I sat down and watched a few videos with him, and I was stuck on Piper Perry's video for the longest because, I don't know, I'm just like a huge fan of hers, but just the fact that like she's petite also and she loves taking big dick, which I do too. So I was just like, that's somebody I can relate to if I ever did porn. And literally a week later, you know, I contact my agent, and then a week later I'm in porn. So it was cool.
Do you know her now?
I don't. I haven't met her yet. Hopefully one day I will, but not yet. I haven't met her. Oh my god, I do love music. Growing up, I never really watched TV. Weird child, maybe, but I was never a television person. So music was all I listened to. I love different genres. Chill beats, anything that's like a chill beat but has a melody to it, I love. Whether it's acoustic, has no lyrics, or has lyrics, whatever. Just something with a chill beat. That's usually that's what I do when I wake up in the morning, actually. 90% of the time I'll play some sort of music to wake me up. Or if I'm playing a certain song that I want to listen to on set, sometimes that wakes me up. Or if you're taking solos and solo stills and pictures and you have music on, like that always gets you in the mood a little too sometimes. Like I just love music. And art itself is cool. There's so many different types of art. I feel like porn itself is art too. I don't know if this is a hobby, but it's a really bad one if it is shopping. I feel like every girl's problem, but yeah. And then I love baking. Growing up, I'd bake all the time. I love doing makeup. So if ever like there's a shoot where I have to do my own makeup, I actually don't complain. I'm like, cool. Well, I bought those eyelashes just last week. Great. You know, like I actually like doing it. In 10 years, it's hard to tell with porn because I feel like you live day by day. Or at least right now, that's how it is for me, living day by day. Hopefully, in 10 years, I'll have my own place. I'll have my dream car, which is an Audi. Like, I will never change that answer. I've had that answer since I was a kid, and it's going to stay that way. I don't have like a detailed plan of what I want, but I have a rough image of what I want. And I hopefully can make that happen in 10 years.